10 times actors have died during filming. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Being a Hollywood superstar isn't always focusing on fame and glamour all around the globe. Sometimes they are also encountering extraordinary danger and hazards that can risk their own lives. And unfortunately, some well-known actors and actresses have experienced this kind of tragic event, and some of them have encountered death. Maybe it was caused by an unpredictable accident, or maybe a more natural cause of death. Whatever it was, we are really sad knowing that these incredibly talented actors and actresses have died during the filming process. So now let's focus on our topic on this video, because this time we will be dealing with some sad and unbelievable events that resulted in a life casualty for the actors who have died during their film. So it's time to sit back and listen while we reveal the 10 actors who have died during filming. Number 10. Bruce Lee. While Bruce Lee technically didn't die from an incident that happened while filming, he still technically passed out during production, collapsing while dubbing for the Game of Death at Golden Harvest Studio in Hong Kong. He was sped away to a local hospital shortly after. Doctors there pointed toward abnormal swelling in the brain as the cause, eventually getting it under control enough to discharge him. However, 2 months later, Lee went to sleep and didn't wake up, and was later pronounced dead. Number 9. Jon-Erik Hexum. An unintentional gunshot wound to the head on the set of the CBS adventure series Cover Up killed Hexum in 1984, writes Access Atlanta. Hexum played Mac Harper, the Green Beret turned model in the TV show that delved into international mystery and fashion photography. According to Entertainment Weekly, Hexum had been napping on October 12, 1984 during delays in filming. When he learned there would be more delays, he jokingly picked up a .44 Magnum pistol loaded with blanks, said, "Can you believe this crap?" and pulled the trigger. The blast's impact fractured his skull, which drove a bone fragment the size of a quarter into his brain, causing massive bleeding. He was rushed to the hospital, where surgery was performed. However, he remained comatose and was pronounced brain dead on October 18, 1984. Number 8. Paul Mantz. Mantz was a legendary aviator who lost his spot at the US Army Flight School after buzzing over a train filled with high-ranking officials in an effort to show off his skills. Later, he landed a role in Airmail, where he flew a biplane through a hangar that wasn't much bigger than his own aircraft. Mantz then appeared in several other films, such as For Whom the Bell Tolls, 12 O'Clock High, and The Wings of Eagles. The Daredevil died on July 8, 1965, while performing a stunt for The Flight of the Phoenix, a movie he came out of retirement to film. According to How Stuff Works, Mantz was flying over a desert in Arizona when his plane struck a hill and broke into pieces, immediately killing the aviator. Most of the film had already been shot, so filmmakers substituted another plane for some remaining close-ups. The Flight of the Phoenix was released later that year. Number 7. Martha Mansfield. While filming The Warrens of Virginia, the silent film star was sitting in a car taking a break between takes. In what can only be described as a freak accident, a passerby lit a cigarette and accidentally flicked the match into the automobile. The match landed on Martha Mansfield's costume, which was a giant and highly flammable Civil War-era dress. The dress went up in flames per death and taxes. Mansfield died in the hospital the next day, November 30th, 1923, from severe burns. Number 6. Roy Kinnear. While in Toledo, Spain, filming the movie The Return of the Musketeers, Kinnear fell from a horse. The 54-year-old British actor sustained a broken pelvis and was taken to hospital in Madrid. The following day, September 20th, 1988, Kinnear died from a heart attack, writes Oddie. Kinnear played the role of Planchet, the servant of the Musketeer D'Artagnan, a role he created in the Richard Lester hit The Three Musketeers in 1974. According to the New York Times, the director Richard Lester was deeply affected by Kinnear's death and shortly after quit his own film career, per Oddie. Number 5. Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger made a name for himself as a quick-witted heartthrob in 10 Things I Hate About You and A Knight's Tale, before moving on to more dramatic roles in iconic movies that included Brokeback Mountain and the second installment of Christopher Nolan's Batman movie series, The Dark Knight. While Ledger was filming The Dark Knight, he said in interviews that the scary role of the Joker contributed to his prescription drug use. He often became so immersed in the characters he played that it affected his daily life, making sleep difficult. Shortly after The Dark Knight wrapped, Ledger began filming The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus with director Terry Gilliam. In January 2008, with just a third of the movie filmed, Ledger went to bed in his apartment in New York City's Tony Soho district, where his housekeeper later found him dead, source Altman. An autopsy revealed that Ledger died after an accidental and gradual overdose on a combination of painkillers, sleeping pills, and other prescription drugs, leading some to speculate that playing the Joker led to his death, source Leonard. Number 4. Tyrone Power. While filming Solomon and Sheba, Tyrone Power suffered a massive heart attack on set during a fencing scene. He died on the way to the hospital on March 15, 1958, according to Ranker. Power first rose to popularity in 1936 with Lloyds of London, according to Bout. Solomon and Sheba was a series about King David's youngest son, Solomon, who he named his heir rather than his oldest son, Prince Adonijah. Number 3. John Ritter. John Ritter collapsed while on the set of 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter on September 11, 2003. Ritter had become ill while working on the ABC series and ended up collapsing on set. He was rushed to the hospital where he underwent surgery for a tear in his aorta, a rare medical condition that can hit without warning, writes Fox News. Ritter died that evening, per Fox News. The show was retitled 8 Simple Rules and continued for another season with David Spade and James Garner as replacements, writes Access Atlanta. Ritter was well known for his many works in television and on film, particularly for his role as Jack Tripper in Three's Company, according to Madame Noir. Number 2. Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee, the son of martial arts legend Bruce Lee, was killed on March 31, 1993 in a stunt accident on the set of The Crow. Quote, Lee's character was supposed to get shot in a scene, but the handgun used contained a fragment of a real bullet, end quote, writes Ranker. During filming, Lee was walking through a doorway carrying a grocery bag as another actor fired blanks at him from 15 meters away, per the Los Angeles Times. At that moment, Lee activated a toggle switch underneath the grocery bag and set off the small charge called a squib, which is commonly used on movie sets to simulate gunfire effects. Lee was hit in the abdomen by a projectile and died later that day at the age of 28. Director Alex Proyas used a double and some special effects in order to complete the movie, according to The Hollywood Reporter. The Crow tells the story of a rock musician, Eric Draven, who is granted life and power by a mysterious crow. Draven uses his abilities to hunt and kill the men that murdered him and his fiancée. And at number 1, Vic Morrow. During the filming of Twilight Zone, the movie, Morrow was killed on set in July 1982, along with 2 child actors, Micah Din Lee and Renee Chen, says How Stuff Works. The Twilight Zone script called for the use of both a helicopter and pyrotechnics, a deadly combination in this case. During a scene in which Morrow was being attacked by American soldiers in Vietnam, the pyrotechnics exploded, severing the helicopter's tail, which caused it to crash, decapitating Morrow and killing the 2 child actors, per Ranker. Later, it came out that the children who died were going to be paid illegally under the table. Allegedly, the director was trying to avoid California's laws against kids working at night, as well as working around the potentially dangerous combination of a helicopter and pyrotechnics, per How Stuff Works. In fact, director John Landis and 4 others were later charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter due to the illegal hiring of the children. According to Ranker, the jury decided Landis wasn't expecting the scene to be dangerous and found the defendants not guilty. The movie continued on, and the movie was released in June 1983, performing poorly at the box office. My sincere condolences for the families of these actors who have died doing their careers. Thanks for watching. Did you enjoy this video? Just hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for future content like this, hopefully maybe a little bit more uplifting. Stay updated for the next video by hitting that bell button, and I hope that you, as always, have a nice